It must be very easy to get people to do your show.
Well, I mean, yeah, seeing how we give away millions of dollars, it's yeah. Usually, people are very excited about it. The only hard part for us is, if it's a longer one, just the time off work. So, because sometimes when we shoot like Beast games or stuff, it can go for a month. But besides the work stuff, of course.
Are there people that haven't been able to do the show because they couldn't get a month off work?
Oh, yeah, tons, of course. So we always have even like the day before, sometimes people get cold feet. So if we're doing something with 100 people, we'll usually have 10 backups just because, the
I would imagine that the type of person that would do your show would have a job that they could quit.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it depends, right? Whether it's the YouTube channel where we're, doing, 100 families compete for $250,000, or it's Beast games where they're competing for $5 million. The $5 million, people are way more excited for. Some of the, the YouTube videos, it's not as grandiose. So they're like, I don't know if I want to lose my job for a 1% chance of winning $250K. So.
Well, how many people, when you do Beast games, how many people are competing?
So the newest season we just shot, we grabbed one person from every country on Earth. So it was around 200.
Whoa.
Yeah, which was actually pretty cool because you would put them in these crazy games, and you'd see how someone from the Asian, Pacific countries would react versus to someone in South America, and they play and think so differently because they have such different upbringing. So it was really cool.
Did you have to? I mean, you must have had to thoroughly vet these people, right? Make sure they're not insane. Make sure you don't have a serial killer.
We do the psych and background checks, of course. No.
How do you get that information if you're going? I mean, if you have, how many countries are there? First of all, it's 190.
We went off of whatever the Olympics do, so it's 100, something around 200. Yeah, plus or minus a couple.
So some of them have to have some shitty infrastructure.
Oh, I mean, I think one of them has literally 40,000 people living in it. It was what is it? Not the. Something Sea Islands, not the Cayman Islands, but some island country. And yeah, I was like, wow, my town, which has 100,000 people, is 2.5 times the population of your country. Well, I was joking with the contestant because I was like, if you win the $5 million, you could technically give a $200 dividend to every single person in your country. It's that crazy. That's that little people living there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the kind of country you're like, I wonder if you could buy that country.
I mean, the GDP is probably, couple $100 million if I were to guess. So.
Someone like Elon or something like that could buy a country.
Elon. There's probably thousands of people in America that could. I mean, I feel bad. People from that country listening.
We didn't say the country.
Okay, true.
We're good. We're good. We didn't say it.
Exactly. It's not yours.
They should know what they are.
Yeah.
They're a country of 40,000 people. That's just what it is. Nothing wrong with that. But it's it is weird how many countries there are, and if you've got a person from every country, what are the odds you're going to get good data as to whether or not they're a criminal?
Well, that's why, I mean, if you saw our budgets on what I have to spend on casting those people, it was ridiculous to be able to get them all. Because basically what we did is we grabbed multiple options for each country. And what I was worried about is that, the contestant from blank country would suck. And then the country would be like, Jimmy, you hate us and you purposely picked this, absolute moron. So we would pick 2 or 3 from each country, and then we let people from those countries vote on who should compete. So it wasn't even one. I had to get multiple from each. So I think I ended up spending over $1 million just on, aggregating and casting and background checks and everything, and then putting it out there so people could vote on it. But that way, whatever, like Georgia and Europe, if that guy's an absolute moron, it's on them. They picked him.
Right. That's actually very smart.
Exactly.
How did you come up with the concept for this show? First of all, how the fuck do you have time to do that show as well as do your YouTube show?
Yeah. I just don't sleep much during those because, Beast Games basically is 30 days of just, 18 hours a day filming. And so, and for people who might not have heard of it, it's essentially the largest cash prize of any show in the world. Season 1, we had the most contestants of any show in the world and the largest sets of any show ever to exist. And I was just like, what if you take a reality show, but you just ramp everything up to the absolute maximum? And like Season 1, we gave away $22 million just in one season, right? And, some of the biggest game shows in the world right now give away $250,000. We're giving away $2 million every episode. Yeah,
look at that. That's wild. All those people. That's so crazy. That set's amazing.
Yep.
Dude.
And then we build a city. And so also,
holy shit.
My whole thesis behind it with this is, when you watch these, game shows or reality shows, there's a lot of takeaways. And after the show, they'll put people in a room and they'll be like, hey, talk about what happened here. And it's intercut. And I was like, well, what if we just have 1,000 cameras and we just let people be themselves and we kind of just show it in real time? So we also, in Season 1, we broke the world record of most cameras ever used in any production of any movie, show, anything ever. So this set right here, there's over 1,200 cameras in there. and the most
that room is so big.
Yeah, it's bigger than the football field. And so there's 1,000 contestants. We have to have an A cam on all of them. So there's a pole on each of the platforms on them. Plus there's hundreds of cameras in the roof and blah, blah. I think there's over 1,200 here, which outside of this, the most ever used in production was was 400. So like I literally had to, and this might seem insane, but this is why I think the show appeals to quite a few people, because normally in a show they would have a story producer walk up to you, hold a camera, and be like, all right, you got 3 minutes, you're kind of the bad guy, say roughly along these lines, almost basically put words in your mouth, and then they'd go like person to person with like one camera. Whereas I go on the microphone, I go, say whatever the hell you want. We're recording you for the next 10 hours. I don't care, right? And you all have a dedicated camera on you. So then instead of like putting words in people's mouths, they can just do whatever they want.
So do you have someone who actually has to go back and watch all that footage and edit it and then put it all out as a show?
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is why.
How many people do you have doing your editing?
That season, over 150 editors worked on it, yeah.
Holy
It's
shit,
crazy.
man.
And that's obviously why people don't do it, because it's like basically we had to spend millions of dollars in cameras. It was the world record for most cameras ever used, which then we also broke the world record for most camera cables used, because it's 27 miles of camera cables. Broke the world record for largest control room. Each of these is millions of dollars, and you have to bring in millions of dollars of extra editors. And so next thing you know, to take it from 10 cameras where you just essentially put words in people's mouths to unlimited cameras, and they can do whatever you want. You can show who they actually are as opposed to what you think they should be, right, with a story producer. It costs a lot of money. It's a lot of effort and time, but it shows through in the final product, because now, you get more natural, like less scripted things when people are just themselves.
You have a great ability to like see the big picture, and a great ability to put together things regardless of what the budget is. Like, regardless of how much money you're going to make, to do the best product. Like, I always thought that about you when you first started doing your YouTube show. I'm like, the amount of money and time and effort involved in this is like above and beyond what most people are willing to do.
Yep.
And it's way more than a traditional television network would ever do, because a traditional television network would look at the upside. They would look at the money, and they would go, we're going to spend X amount of money to make it this much better, but if we just take it down a couple of notches, we save 80%.
Yeah.
And they would do that. But you're like, can we make it even cooler? Let's put all the money back into the show.
Exactly.
Which is very risky, man. Because not just very risky, it's just you have great foresight. Like, you really see the big picture of it. Obviously, you have the #1 show in the world. Like, you have the most watched show on Earth. Your YouTube show is the most watched show on planet Earth. So it's obviously working. Yeah. But it's like that ability to make that set must have been bananas. That is a fucking enormous building. Yeah. Did you have to build the building?
No, so that's in Toronto, but it's basically an airport hangar. I mean, we spent months trying to figure out how we could make this. That also is like 1,000 trap doors, because every single one of those, the trap doors open when they get eliminated. So that set alone was like $15 million. I mean, it was crazy.
Oh my God.
And thousands of people's time and stuff like that. It's actually, where we film Beast Games, it's actually a pretty big deal, because it creates so many local jobs for people. So,
I'm sure.
Yeah, like there, it was like pretty wild. Every time
Can you say where you film it, or you keep it under wraps?
That one was Toronto, Canada.
Okay, cool.
And every time I'd walk around on set, people were loving it, because even though we filmed for 30 days, there's months leading up to it and months after.
Sure.
So it gives people like consistent work for 6 months, whereas like before they're going project to project every week. But yeah, back on the going above and beyond, that's kind of my whole thing is like, why make content that isn't great? And we just ask ourselves, how do we make the best content possible, as opposed to, how do we make the most money possible? And when you just shockingly going with that approach, you just kind of
make a lot of money.
Yeah. And and also it's I tell my team all the time too, like a big difference between us and other media companies is, usually like people at the top will always shoot down crazy ideas or tell you it's not possible, like whenever you have like these crazy brainstorming sessions. And I tell the team, technically anything's possible. If as humans we really wanted to, we could technically blow up the moon with enough nukes. Now we're not going to do it because it's not worth the time and it's not worth spending the money. But you have to have that frame of mind. Everything's for the most part possible if you're willing to spend the time and spend the money. So before you do the work and just figure out what time it takes and how much money it costs, you can't say no to something, because almost all the time, like we filmed in the pyramids, and I spent 100 hours living in the pyramids of Egypt. It was fucking awesome. And for years everyone's like, they're not going to let you, live in the pyramids for a couple days. Like, that's crazy. And I'm like, well, why not? Like, did you get a no from the leader of Egypt? No. Then I'm like, well, technically it's possible, and after years of talking with them and helping them understand that, it's going to be more of an educational type video, and it's not like I'm not going to run up the pyramids and take my shirt off and be like a lunatic. It'll be really cool. Eventually they came around to it and they loved the video, and it worked really well. And it's literally like I could go anywhere in the pyramids for 100 hours. I went all the way up to the top of the middle pyramid. We went underneath it. It was really cool. And I like tell my team, it's like, even some of my most veteran people, when we get these crazy ideas, their default reaction always is to go, I just don't think it's possible. And I go, look, it is. Sometimes it's just time and money, And is it worth the effort?
The pyramid one must have been nuts.
Oh, it was crazy. It was one of my favorite videos.
Is that your first time ever being there?
Yeah, actually it was. And so that made it even more special because I was like learning things at the same time as I was just walking around. And I'm going to be honest, it was like a year and a half ago and it's like all a little fuzzy because I was like so tired. I was just walking around all night. But it was pretty crazy and surreal. And then going down into, what's that tomb called where you go down the ladder and like a couple hundred feet? Underneath the pyramid?
I don't know. Is that Osiris's shaft?
Yes, Osiris's. Yeah, and then it was like flooded and swimming around under there. It was pretty wild. Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like you should do something like that.
100%. I need to go there. I've been talking about going there for years. For me, it's just a time thing. My time is, I've so many different jobs. It's not like one all-consuming job like you have.
Yeah.
With me, it's like commentary for the UFC, doing stand-up comedy, doing the podcast, and also married with children. It's like I have a lot of responsibilities. So it's tough to just jet off for really, ideally, if you're going to go to Egypt, I feel like you should go for like 10 days.
Yeah,
I feel like at
100%.
least 10 days.
Do you think I feel like they maybe honestly realistic like 5 days you could do it. And like I'm curious though if they'd let you just like do a video where you walk around and go everywhere because
I wonder.
Yeah, because
I've talked a lot of shit.
Exactly. So, without saying it, I'm kind of implying I don't even know if they want you there.
Well, I never have said anything bad about it.
Yeah.
I just think that the people that run it have a very narrow-minded perspective of how all that stuff was made, and I don't think they really know. And I think there's a lot of gatekeeping in terms of what the official narrative is, as like how it was all made and who made it and what it's all about. That's why they're really hesitant to accept any alternative perspectives, because they have a timeline and they attribute all this construction, and there's a lot of evidence that timeline doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, did you check out the Sphinx?
Yeah, and you can go underneath it and go in that little room.
Yeah. Did you do that?
Yeah, which that's the stuff I feel like it would mean even more if you did. You've talked to Dr. Zahi, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you have him on the show?
Yeah,
or?
I had him on the show.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. And so he's obviously the guy, so you should just call him and see.
Yeah, I'd rather go with somebody else. I'd rather.
I didn't listen to that episode.
I'd rather go hang out with one of the historians that I know.
Graham Hancock?
Yeah, Graham Hancock would be the perfect guy to go with.
Yeah, you and Graham Hancock walking around. Oh boy, there'd be some crazy stuff said.
Yeah, well, whatever happened in that part of the world during that time frame is pretty spectacular. And it's kind of amazing that no one has ever achieved anything even remotely similar to it since.
Yeah.
And it's at least 4,500 years old. And that's just a guess, though. They really don't know.
Yeah.
It's a crazy place. The fact that you got to film a show there is nuts.
Yeah. I love how you call it show, and to me it's just a YouTube video, but it's just funny.
It's a show.
Yeah, I know, of course. And it makes sense because you do stuff with the UFC, and in your world, a lot of it's called shows. But
I mean, whatever it is people are watching it.
Yeah,
at home.
I know.
It's
just funny to me. I haven't heard it called that in years. But yeah, that one was crazy. And I mean, one thing that I'm really proud of that we did for season 3 of Beast Games, which I like in hindsight, I'm not even sure how this one we pulled off. So I want to see your reaction to this.
Okay.
So basically, the finale where we have the $5 million, we have the final contestants. We filmed it in the Roman Coliseum.
Whoa.
Yeah, we crowned the winner of season 3 with the $5 million cash prize in the middle of the Roman Coliseum. played the first game there in over 1,000 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I know. I'm so grateful. I like we just filmed that too, so I'm like coming off the high, and I just like it almost gives me tears. Like what we shot was so cool. We had like a live orchestra at like the top ring up there too. So like as the game got dramatic, we would have them like play louder music and stuff. It was like so surreal. Like there's multiple, because I've done really crazy things in my life, but there's multiple moments during that where I'm just like looking around in the middle of the Coliseum as we're like filming the show, and I'm like this doesn't feel real. It was pretty wild.
It doesn't feel. I mean, I went just to visit a few years back, and it didn't feel real. It's so strange to imagine like what that was like.
Yeah.
How many thousand years ago? What year were they doing the games in the Roman Coliseum?
I would guess 1,900 years ago.
So, I mean, what the fuck was it like being in there while that was happening?
And imagine when they flood it and they'd have the ships in there. It's like, whoa, I know.
Crazy.
I know. And
It's nuts that you could go walk around it and just try to understand, like, this used to be a place where people used to go to see people die.
Yeah.
They used to see people get hacked to death by swords, to see people get killed by lions.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was...
Well, it's also interesting, too, because I did a lot of research, before we filmed there. And it also did a good job of, back then they had like the hierarchy and like the nobles people would sit at the bottom and the poor people be at the top. And it also played like a good role of like showcasing unity, even though there are all these different people from all these different, economic statuses. They would all be in the arena there, but also remind them where they are. And there's like so many political implications of it too.
Yeah.
And so just everything about it.
Like basketball
crazy.
games. Right? Who gets courtside tickets?
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Jack Nicholson, courtside tickets.
Or Jay-Z
famous
or whoever.
people. Yeah, courtside tickets.
True.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. I think in the Coliseum, though, that was the most dangerous seats because, like, there was a couple of incidents, I believe, when either a lion or a tiger leapt up and got a hold of some people.
Yeah. Well, I didn't hear about that, but when I was walking around, they would have the, emperor, like, seat right there, and I was like, man, if I was a warrior, I could throw a spear at him. Like, this is a killer view, but like, how did no one ever just kill this guy?
Right.
I was like, that's all I could think about. It's like, this is a little too close to the battlefield.
How close is it?
It was like, 4 rows up. It wasn't like anything too crazy. But like, there's like obviously walls when you're walking around, like little walls, so you can't just walk into the stand. So they're like kind of trapped in the arena. But it was definitely within spear throwing distance.
I wonder how long it took to build that place. Because when you're walking around, you're like, this is an epic piece of real estate. Like you guys built like an insane structure, and they did it, almost 2,000 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it took 8 years to build.
Wow.
From AD 72 to AD 80.
Yep.
Wow. Construction started under Vespasian between AD 70 and 72. It was completed and inaugurated under Emperor Titus around AD 79 to 80, so the main build phase lasted roughly 6 to 8 years. The Cup is down to its final matches. One trophy, one champion. DraftKings has you covered for every single one. The DraftKings app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets, bringing the game straight to your fingertips wherever you are. From Florida to Texas to California, you're in on the excitement at the speed of sports. No matter where you're watching, you're always connected and in the game with one app. New DraftKings customers sign up with code Rogan, spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code Rogan in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Void in Canada. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Availability varies. Bet to get bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Trade to get $50 in predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Issued every 7 days via click-to-claim for 21 days. One non-withdrawable reward redeemable. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends July 19th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
Yeah, it's fascinating too because I like to think of like something equivalent now would be like maybe SoFi Stadium. Like that's such a beautiful, massive stadium. And I wonder if like 2,000 years from now, would that still be there?
Right.
Like the Roman Coliseum's like relatively still intact. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Well, it's because it's made out of stone. All of our stuff, like cement, will rot out. There's no way cement lasts 1,000 years. All the glass, everything will just get absorbed back into the earth.
Dang.
Do you ever see that show? They had a show like, what was it on the History Channel or something like that, where it was After Humans, I think it was called, and it essentially showed how long it would take for cities to completely be absorbed back into the earth. It's not that long.
Yeah.
It's not that long. No, it's like a few hundred years, and there's nothing left.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually seems like a good show.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. It was a while ago, so it was probably like shitty AI. It was shitty CGI. They could probably do it really good now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you go to Detroit, there's houses in Detroit now that have trees growing out of the basement of the house through the roof.
Yeah.
Like they've taken over the house, and nature is slowly but surely absorbing the building. And then skyscrapers are a bigger endeavor, but nature could still do it. It just takes enough time.
That makes me, where my brain goes to is it makes me want to do a video where it's like, I bet you there's like a abandoned village or city that's been overgrown, and like doing a video titled like Last Human on Earth Simulation, and then like living there for a month or so and seeing what it's like. That'd be kind of cool. Kind of like the Will Smith movie back in the day.
Right, yeah.
That'd be so fascinating, like to, or maybe do it like with a contestant. Like, hey, if you spend 1 month, in this like isolated civilization, like I'll give you $1 million or something, and then seeing how they like, use 100-year-old buildings or something. I don't know. It's got my brain churning.
It's not a bad idea, like an I Am Legend type deal.
Yeah, but real, unscripted, exactly.
Right, real unscripted, but then also hire people to be zombies and haunt these people while
I
they're
love where
sleeping.
your brain goes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hire people, like CGI them up, scare
Yeah.
the fuck out of people.
I've been wanting to do that for a while, but I always get like hung up on like, okay, I can make some real zombies, but the problem is like, how do they kill them? And then, you know.
Well, the other problem is what happens if you're not telling these contestants that zombies are coming. You're just trying to get a reaction out of them. What if this guy thinks it's a real zombie and kills one of the people?
Yeah, well, we
know?
would tell him. I would have to say it's a zombie simulation, and and then I'd have to set rules on here's how you kill a zombie. You don't use a sword. You use this foam thing, and it's lame, which is why we never gone around to it. But if there ever was a way, I do think that would be cool to like recreate a actual zombie apocalypse and like let someone try to live in it for a week, because it'd just be cool, because everyone's exposure to this is through scripted shows.
Right.
But to see someone like truly live in an unscripted one where we build rundown gas stations and there's like food that like we would say this is set in the year 2060, so I'd have set designers and everything design it where it like only Laffy Taffy's still edible and stuff, and it's like a true recreation of it. I've always wanted to do stuff like that.
You could totally do that. There's a bunch of abandoned towns.
No, it's just the one thing we can never figure out is how does someone kill a zombie and it's not lame, right? Because imagine someone with a Nerf sword hitting a zombie. Ugh, now it's like, okay, this is fucking lame. You know?
Yeah. Maybe a paintball type deal.
Yeah, and that's where our head goes, because we have a different video, similar thing. But the problem with paintball and airsoft is then you have to wear a mask, right? Because you don't want people to get shot in the face, obviously, and then it kind of kills it.
Or yeah, unless the zombie masks was the protection.
Yeah, we put it over top of the paintball mask. That's true. Poor actors. They're gonna.
Or you just
burn
have
alive.
instead of like a regular paintball mask, have something that's just a hard structure that is like the shape of your face.
Exactly.
So
and
you
then
make
paint
a
over
deformed
top of
fist
it.
to your face, and then you give them goggles, something clear, so their eyes are protected, and then you do all the makeup on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I should hit you up for these zombie things. I can.
That actually would. There you
Yes,
go.
exactly that. Yeah.
That's perfect. That's an
Okay.
airsoft mask.
That'd be pretty cool. I mean.
Oh, dude, that's actually dope. Look at those masks, the half-face zombie ones.
Yeah.
That's fucking dope. Like that would be terrifying. Coming at you in the middle of the night.
I mean,
and
hey,
you have to
if
shoot
anyone
those off.
listening wants to live in an abandoned town for 10 days while zombies try to kill you.
I think we're onto something now.
yeah,
now that I
honestly.
saw those masks, I'm like, okay, I like it, because that could be the zombies.
Well, where my head goes, because the videos are so big, right? This is probably a $5-10 million project. I probably would build this abandoned city, do I'm the last man on the planet, and it's like me there for some time, and then afterwards, like a couple months, like film then right afterwards, film a video where I give someone $1 million, they live there for 10 days, but they have to fend off zombies with their friends, so then we can reuse the set location. Because if I'm gonna completely set deck basically a whole city, oh my gosh, that's gonna be a monster. But yeah, if I did both those back to back, that'd actually be pretty gnarly and worth the effort.
I think I like the idea now.
Yeah.
Now that I see those masks, and I think about like paintball or something along those lines.
Well, what I'm picturing too is like ideally we can find a city with a skyscraper, because I want like someone with the long lens pointed down of like someone, picture them on a street, it's pitch black and they have like a fire and it's them and their 3 friends and and then they hear noise and zombies and stuff. Like those shots would be so beautiful. Like I mean, it would probably be one of the most beautiful videos ever. And I'm picturing we put like vines like on all the buildings and stuff too. So
Well, if you wanted no one around, it's going to be hard, because you're going to have to do it in an abandoned place.
Exactly.
And you're not going to get an abandoned skyscraper.
maybe. So if we
Unless
did-
you're in Detroit.
Well, we also, it doesn't have to be in the U.S. We did a video, 7 Days in an Abandoned City, where there's like some place in Europe where there was a city that was like war-torn and stuff like that. And it had like hotels and tall buildings and everything. It was pretty wild. So
Really?
Yeah.
And there's no one in it now?
No one in it. Like tourists
found
go there
your
or whatever,
place.
but they let us close it off for a week. It was pretty crazy.
Well, that's the place then.
Yeah, I just wonder if they'll, it's a little bit of history there, so I doubt they'll let me go in and like set deck everything like crazy, but.
And also paintball everything.
Exactly, yeah. Well, with those masks, we could do airsoft, which would be maybe even easier. Well, actually, no, the problem with airsoft then is the trust system. You don't know if they got hit, so paintball is probably more effective.
Yeah, you need paintball.
Yeah.
You need paintball, and it needs to look good when it splatters against them.
I just, if someone on my team's watching this, just clip the last 10 minutes of this and send it to the creative team. I got you guys. I believe in you.
Is there another way to kill a zombie other than paintball that would be wild? Like, is there something else?
Well, one thing we've been working on, because I've always wanted to like do Hunger Games in real life as well, is so like these like suits where you could electronic like laser tag, where you could just shoot and then it just like lights up. So
What about shotguns with bean bags? Because they use those for people to like take out like when the non-lethal loads.
Yeah.
They have like bean bags that they shoot out of a shotgun.
the question I would need is like, if I shot you with it like 3 feet away, would you still be fine? I guess you could probably adjust the pressure and stuff where it's not.
Not really.
Okay, well.
I mean, you could, but you couldn't vary it.
See, this isn't Fear Factor. This is Mr. Beast.
You just have to figure out an exciting way to kill them where it doesn't actually hurt the stunt people or whoever's wearing the masks, whoever pretends to be a zombie. It would have to be something. I was thinking light him on fire, but that's...
Wait, could you pull up the 7 Days Abandoned City video and just skip to some random part? I'd love for him to see like how it looks, because that with what you're picturing, and that really would be something you can't find anywhere else. And that's what like gets me excited, is when it's content you can't find anywhere else. That's typically, you know, a huge indicator that if it's done well, people like it.
Have you seen the show From?
I don't think so, no.
It's great show, but it's about these people.
Wait, look at that shot. Pause it right there. So that's just one random building, but you can maybe go to the intro or something if you want to just show them like, yeah, this whole place. Like, look at these buildings.
Oh my God, this is perfect.
Yeah, and then like, yeah, if you pause it there, those are all the buildings in the city.
Oh, dude, this is the spot. Listen, the show starts at sundown every night.
Okay.
As soon as the sun goes down, that's when the games begin. Nothing happens until it gets dark out.
Okay.
Everything is in the dark. And these people have no idea when it's going to happen, when they're going to get hit, and so they try to get their sleep whenever they can. But you keep them awake during the day with tasks. You keep them away. So during the day, they have all sorts of materials, they have supplies, they have all sorts of things, and they have to figure out how to protect themselves, how to develop shelter, alarm systems for when the zombies are close. You give them,
really?
Yeah, give them time to like figure out stuff to do to keep the zombies away, and a limited amount of materials that they can work with, and just let these people get creative in their ingenuity. But then you keep so that they'll be busy during the day, so they're not going to be able to sleep. So at nighttime, when it gets dark out, then they don't know when it's going to hit. So you have these people sitting around, and it might be 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and then 3 in the morning, shit starts
30
happening.
zombies come in, and they got to shoot them all with paintballs.
And they're creeping in.
Yeah.
Like, they're creeping in.
Bro, you're getting me excited. I mean, it would be so fucking cool to, like, let them build a structure or something, and then, like in I'm Legend, where he has to point the lights because they hate lights, but, like, at nighttime, like, we can hide lights throughout the city that they'd have to collect, and then set up so they have good vision around their fort and everything, and then they have like, you know, cycles where they take turns watching and stuff. And then we only send the zombies out theoretically at night, or whatever the structure would be, so they have chill time. Or maybe every night 40 zombies are unleashed, and then so they're like, they shot like 35 of them, but they're like, oh shit, there's 5 hidden around the city. So that day while they're walking around, they're like on edge, and the tension throughout the day would be phenomenal. Yeah, there's so many cool ways to do it.
And, you know, you don't have to tell them that the zombies are only going to come out at night.
Yeah.
Just have it that way.
I'm excited. We need to stop talking about this because I'm going to leave and go film it right now.
And then
I'm fighting the urge to go call my team.
You also, with the zombies, they can come out in the daytime. These people don't know because they never do it.
True. Like the first 5 days, it's only at night.
Yeah.
And then day 6,
exactly.
Boom.
So people get snatched up in the middle of their house.
Oh
this
my God.
company we used before as Gel Blaster. It's almost like airsoft, but it doesn't hurt as bad.
Oh, it shoots water?
And these vests that they have set up are sensors, so you can almost like what you're saying. It's like VR laser tag.
So